Welcome, everybody, to a special board meeting. I am amazed for a special board meeting on a Thursday night. You guys have filled every seat in this room. So, welcome to the June 2nd special board meeting, District 118. Glad to see you all here. I hope I can say that when we're all done. Ha ha ha. So, since we're all here, would you please rise and join me as we say our Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We were in closed session for several items, student discipline, which we're going to handle in a second, but I would like to take a personal point of privilege here, and I would like that if you would join me in a moment of silence for the victims of Uvalde, Texas, of the school shooting. So please, a brief moment of silence. Thank you. Thank you very much. We all agree that that was a tragedy that we hope we never, ever see again anywhere, let alone anywhere around here. So our hearts go out to them. With that, that brings us to item number 3, discipline motion.
Mr. President, I move that we uphold the findings of the board in student case number 22, 22, 28, 54, and 20, 29, 55.
Thank you.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. May I have a roll call vote, please?
Elder Park,
Yes.
Mrs. Sheldon,
Yes.
Mr. Easton,
Yes.
Mrs. Terry,
Yes.
Mrs. Holland,
Yes.
Dr. Ashton.
Yes, motion passes 6-0. Thank you very much. That brings us to item number 4, the consent agenda. I see, or I hope there aren't any additions or corrections or deletions.
No, no, sir.
Okay, so we're going to have this meeting as planned. We certainly hope. Okay, so I would entertain a motion for the consent agenda.
So move.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Easton,
Yes.
Mrs. Terry,
Yes.
Elder Park,
Yes.
Mrs. Schrader,
Yes.
Mrs. Holland,
Yes.
Dr. Ashton.
Yes, motion passes 6-0 again. We're on a roll.
But wait, Dr. Asher, before we go, I want to let everyone know that as a part of that consent agenda,
Yeah.
we have some new appointments that we need to celebrate. First, we have Miss Amanda Campbell. She will, you can stand, come on. Miss Campbell will now be, she's still an administrator. She is our coordinator of counselors for the district. So congratulations on your new appointment. Mr. Christopher Rice, please stand. Mr. Rice was formerly the principal at Mead Park. He is now the coordinator of early learning. Congratulations on your new appointment. And we have 2 new principals, Mr. Tana Delurier. Mr. Delurier is the new principal of Mead Park.
Isn't that a great name? It's a great name.
And I would like Ms. Robin Fluno to stand. Ms. Fluno is now the new principal of Southview Berlin. I have a lot going on tonight. Did I get everyone? Pabst? Who? Ms. Zoyer, please stand. See, I'm telling you, it takes a village. As we know, oh yeah, see. As we know, we are going to repurpose Garfield Elementary. Mrs. Zoyer is now the principal of Southwest. Mrs. Pabst, did I get everyone? Okay, I wanted to make sure we celebrated those people before we went on to the next part of the agenda. Congratulations, team.
Yes, we're very appreciative. The board's very appreciative of accepting those positions. We you have no idea how appreciative we are. So thank you very, very much. And I'm sure that will be echoed later in our board superintendent and board comments. So a prelude to that. Okay, that brings us to, if I'm not mistaken, item 5 is always public comments.
Mr. Brett,
Hello, Mr. Bretz.
Hello, how are you, Dr. Ashton?
I'm wonderful.
I feel like I just saw you.
Yeah, it feels like it.
Good evening, Dr. Geddes, board. Mr. Brett's one of the assistant principals at DHS. With graduation coming up, we wanted to highlight some of our seniors. I actually do have a junior with me tonight, though. I hope that's okay. These are students from our Global Careers and Professions class at Danville High School. May 5th, we had an etiquette luncheon with these students and a few others from the class, myself, Ms. Cherry, and Dr. Geddes, and we were just so impressed by all of them. And Dr. Geddes kind of used the term, these are examples of the hidden faces of Danville High School. We have a lot of students that have been celebrated publicly in the paper, but we have so many kids that we are so proud of that are going on to accomplish great things and have grown so much. And it's really hard to quantify at times the success and the growth of a young person. And sometimes the best way is giving them spaces to bless us with their stories. So I am now going to step aside and let them speak, and then I'll be back up at the end to wrap it up. And we're going to start with this young lady right here.
Hi everybody, my name's Sanaya. Y'all gonna have to work with me. I'm a little bit nervous, but okay, we're gonna get through this. I'm a graduating senior at Danville High School, obviously. I plan to attend the U of I and major in industrial design, and I am on an academic scholarship. Okay, with
Full ride.
Full
Thank you.
I'm so happy to cry.
Okay, so with GCP, honestly, I did not think I was going to like that class, y'all. I didn't think I was going to like it at all. It was just going to be a field class because for soccer I had to take 5 little classes just for me to get through the year. I mean, I love Miss Journal, but I thought this class was just going to be extra work. But the class is a class for the future. The class is a class for the future, more specifically, your future. This class is more specifically designed for like jobs or like your careers. We talk about resumes, we talk about budgets, we talk about etiquette. We even had the opportunity to specifically talk about people in our field. Like I got to talk to Parker, which is Miss Journal's son. He's a mechanical engineer and he works at Oculus, which is the 3D head designs. And I got to talk about designs, programming, the in and outs of that situation. I was like nerding out the whole entire time. It's like, oh my gosh, show me this program, show me this program. I'm so glad he wasn't irritated with me, y'all. But as I'm sitting here talking about like, oh, I'm a major in industrial design like that, before this class, I was just gonna wing it. I didn't know what I was gonna do. I didn't know if I was gonna go to this, do this, or what, but this class really set me down and like, Anaya, you gotta know what you're doing. This is money that you're gonna pay for. So like, we gotta know what we're doing. And this class set me on that. Like now I know like how I'm gonna budget this. What am I gonna do with this? My time has to go to this. My resume, I'm gonna put this in this. I could do this. This class has really set me for opportunities that I needed, and I'm very thankful for it. I'm thankful to speak with y'all today too.
Hello everyone, my name is Denasia King. I'm a graduating senior. I can definitely say that I've grown and changed since my freshman year. I mean, staying in Mr. Harmless' office, always in trouble, to now turning in my work on time and staying out of trouble and just doing what I need to do to stay focused. I can say Ms. Junior's class helped me a lot, and she has helped me grow in so many different ways. It makes me so happy when teachers look at me and can actually say that I've changed and how much I grew. I plan on chasing my career in nursing. I also plan on going to DAC and then transferring to Lakeview. This class had made me look at my life differently, and thanks to Ms. Journey, I really love her for that because she has looked out for me so much. And if you know, you know. She's just my heart. I love her. But thank you guys for having me speak. That's all I want to say.
Hello, my name is Kyle Harper. I am a student in Mrs. Jernan's Global Career, and I want to do theater acting and filming for Andrew Woods Acting School, and I hope that I get to do that, and I'm going to do it in the fall. But sorry if I'm a little bit nervous.
He's going to acting school in LA. That's what he's doing.
Wait. wait, come back.
No, you're
Come
not
back.
done.
Wait,
No,
hold
you're
up.
not done.
Come back. I'm not gonna out you out about everything. Come on back.
You tried to use that.
Come on back. So when I met with this, I'm not gonna say everything. I'll give you my promise to that, okay? But if you know when you meet with me, what's the plan? How we gonna execute the plan? How we gonna pay for the plan? Right? Those always the three questions. And so when I said this to this young man, he said, "Well, Dr. Geddes, I'm gonna use the money from my investments." I said, "The what?" He said, "Yeah, in my portfolio, so I put enough money aside for my portfolio and my investments that I'm gonna pay for it that way." And that's just the smallest part of his conversation. It ain't even the biggest part. I was crying. I'm telling you, I cried. And I had the ugly cry with them, right? So I was so proud. But these are the stories you don't get to hear when they talk about Danville. But we're gonna change that narrative. And I wanted to start right here to say, I needed y'all to hear what I heard that day. So,
I need money for my portfolio. What do you?
All right. Okay.
I know now he's mad though. I see you over there fussing. I can't believe you don't.
All right. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
My name is Tawani Jones.
This one.
I'm the only junior as of right now in the class. And give me a second.
Oh, when
All
he
right.
gets warmed up though.
All right. Give me a second. All right. So and GCP, it helped me learn like a lot, like about what I want to do. Cause when I got in there, I had no clue if I wanted to go to college or not. But when I was talking to Miss Drennan, she helped me a lot, like what I wanted to do. And when I figured out what I wanted to do, it was business management. So I got to interview Dean Shore from Wells Shores Management, and he talked to me about a lot of stuff, like what I should do, like how should I invest, and like what classes I should take in college. And I appreciate him for that, but I also appreciate Miss Drennan for helping me figure out what I wanted to do, and like basically pin me like on a career like on a path like how she put the seniors on, even though I'm a junior. So she can show me what I really wanted to do. And yeah, like I said, I appreciate her for that. That's it.
Really quickly, I just wanted to close up and then say something about that's going to be at graduation. I do think these stories we heard tonight are a great reminder for ourselves that we get a choice of how we look at young people, especially those that come from different contexts and backgrounds than our own. They're a great reminder of what can happen when we see the talents, resilience, curiosity, and abilities in our young people, and not through the lens of our own values that we may put upon them. I also want to acknowledge Giovanni Del Razzo. He couldn't be here tonight. He actually moved to Tennessee. His plan was to go to DAC for HVAC. He's actually down in Tennessee now working with his brother who owns his own HVAC company.
Who is also a Danville High School graduate.
Mm-hmm. And Andrew Coleman couldn't be here tonight either. He's going to be going to DAC to get his CDL to be a truck driver. And, of course, Miss Drennan, who I think they summed it up how great she is. We want to thank her for coming out of retirement part-time and teaching this class this year. And then at graduation, this is more, I think, for the parents watching. We have, I think, 25 or 26 giant signs that were made of job postings in the county. They're going to be displayed as for the parents as they enter into the ceremony on Saturday.
You are stealing my thunder, Mr.
Sorry,
Brooks.
I can shut up. I just want to make sure it got out there.
I got you.
All right, well, parents, pay attention, take pictures of it. There's a lot of opportunities for jobs that are open that they'd love to interview our graduating seniors going into the workforce, and jobs that pay well and have opportunities for upward mobility. So be on the lookout for that as you enter the ceremony on the 4th. So thank you, everybody.
Thank y'all.
Taylor, Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
My name is Taylor Heston, and I am a teacher and the AVID site coordinator at Danville High School. In my AVID 12 class, our seniors voted on, planned, and executed a service learning project to raise money for medical needs in our community. Tonight, I have Kira Dudley with me, who's going to talk about how this happened. Just to introduce Kira, she is a graduating senior. She will be attending Illinois State University for elementary education. And she is one of 500 Dell Scholars. Yay! If you don't know, a Dell Scholar is an incredible scholarship. She's getting $20,000. She's getting $500 textbook credits each year. She's getting a whole network of support, a laptop. It's really incredible. But she is here representing the AVID class, the seniors, to share about our basketball tournament.
And she's one of the second student in our history to get the scholarship.
Yes, second student at DHS ever. And I think the only student in Illinois this year. So.
Do I have to hello?
No.
Okay. Thank you guys. I'm a little nervous now. Everyone's staring at me. I just got a spray tan. I'm looking a little dark. Okay, so a few months ago, sorry. Okay. A few months ago, Miss Heston decided that she wanted to get us into groups and brainstorm ideas for a service learning project. We chose to present ideas to the class, so everyone had their choice to pick. And at first we were going to do at the ice skating rink. We were going to have an ice skate night, but we decided we wanted to have it more at the school. So we decided to choose a basketball tournament. And then once we decided the tournament, we got to work. We created flyers. We talked to other students about signing up. We made the schedule for the night, planned activities during the breakdowns of the games or between the games, planned out the concession stands would be, which was my job, like food, and determined the cost of everything, which is very difficult, actually. At the teams, as the team started signing up, we went through different bracket scenarios to prepare. Finally, the day arrived. At the event, which I couldn't make it to because I got sick. It's okay. At the event, we arrived early to set up the concession stand, prepared the activities, and familiarize ourselves with scoring equipment. Our scorers taught themselves how to work the scoreboards and to score the games. And then the students in the AVID class, we all picked what part we wanted to do. So some students went to do the 50-50 raffle. Some students did minute to win it games, which are in between the games. So everyone that was there could join in. And then each team played their hearts out. I heard that it was very competitive. And then by the end of the night, we raised over $500 for medical needs in the community. Thank you, everyone.
You're welcome.
So I just want to say really quick how much I love this class of seniors. I had them as sophomores in AVID. I had half of them last year as juniors, and then I got to have them all again this year. And so we've been through the pandemic together. We've been through most of their high school career together, and they were really incredible. The $500, they were very specific. They want it going to patients in need, not just here's the money, do with it what you want, but we're going to contact a clinic and it will go specifically to patients. So yeah, it has been an honor to teach these students, and be on the lookout because they're going to do some incredible things in their future. That's right. Thank you.
I forgot to say one thing. Also, Miss Heston is the one that helped me actually apply for the Dell Scholar. So I give my credit really to her most parts. I'm tearing up a little just because Miss Heston high school was a challenge for me this year, even though I've loved school. So Miss Heston really got me through it, and she helped me with everything. And I'm just so thankful for her. And I'm so happy to see everyone tonight.
Love it.
Okay, that did it.
Good evening, Dr. Geddes, board, and District 118 family. Those are some amazing stories that we just heard, and we also at Mark Denman have some amazing things going on in order to help get our kids to those points up at the high school. So I just wanted to come up and brag on Mark Denman a little bit. I am Stacy Sollers, the principal at Mark Denman. Haven't been up here in a while, so I just wanted to come up and give you a little update. We just recently had a new event for our families at Mark Denman called Glow Bingo, and we had over 200 families come out for Glow Bingo. We were also able to get over 200 of our students registered already for next school year, so we had a little registration event going on at the same time. We paired that with a family council meeting, so we had tons of parents at our family council meeting. And then from that, we were able to get some parents that were interested in being some volunteers for us in some key areas for next school year. So we are super excited about that. One of the things, too, that we are working on, we have about 15 new math students that will be invited to the program. So we are hosting an open house for those students and parents and families that are being invited. So next Thursday on June 9th, we will have an open house from 5 to 6. Those invitations will go out via email and also through the mail. And I'm excited that we are pairing up with Lisa Burgess, who is a retired maths teacher, to kind of help us navigate bringing the maths program back to where it once was before after COVID. So we are super excited to start that. And also with that, we have some awesome things that we have planned for Mark Denman. We are going to have a reading garden installed outside of our library, so our kiddos can come out and they can just kind of chill and read. And, that goes right along with our Avid Reader program and our McTeachers reader, no, not McTeachers, it's McDonald's reading program that they help support in our building. So that's going to help support that. But I am also super excited that we are going to build a STEAM lab at our school, not just STEM, but we are also going to incorporate fine arts into that as well. We have restructured some of our music programs, so our K-1-2 students will be focusing with Miss Sparks, who is amazing, doing keyboarding and vocal type things in K-1-2. And then our maths program and our 3rd and 4th grade are going to work with Mr. Crow, Dr. Crow, who is an amazing musician with orchestra type instruments. So we are going to have some violins, possibly some guitars, but we have some starter instruments for trombone and also some starter instruments for clarinet. So we are going to start incorporating some of those things into our music department. And then if all goes well with the new schedule, we'll have 30 minutes at the end of our day for all of our specialists to have an enrichment period where all of those students, if they are in an instrumental music class, they can also join Miss Sparks at the end of the day for 30 minutes or so for a choir that we would like to get started up, or possibly even a musical. So we have some great ideas and some great things that are in the works over at Mark Denman. We are very excited. So if you are a maths student or family that is being invited to the program, we are excited to see you next Thursday at 9 o'clock. Great, thank you.
Introduction. Good
Everybody's
evening.
staring at you.
I know, it's me,
I
it's
love
my
that
turn.
Yeah.
My heart is so happy, and I'm going to keep the positive energy going. So, good evening, board and Dr. Geddes. I'm Nicole Zoyer, the principal at Garfield Elementary School, and I'll be brief since we have a lovely crowd here this evening. But I just want to thank my staff. They went above and beyond last night for our Garfield tribute. the building looked amazing. They had amazing things set up for our visitors. I want to thank all of you for coming to the tribute last night. It was really a very lovely evening. And I just wanted to give my team a shout out because it was very well done and very well organized. So thank you.
Did it? Okay. You're right. It was wonderful last night. I have to say I was amazed of all the things that you guys, the staff or whoever put that together. It was incredible. I was kind of worried about 3 weeks ago. I just told someone about that. I said, "Boy, I hope we're doing something for the end of Garfield." And I'm going, "Oh, I think." And someone said, "Oh, we got that covered." And I'm going, "Okay." And I'm going, "No, they didn't just cover it. You like hit it out of the park." So it was absolutely wonderful. So thanks for that. We thank everybody it took a lot of work, and it showed. So it was wonderful. I think everybody enjoyed it. All right, that brings us to item number 7, the presentation of the Dr. David L. Fields Excellent in Teaching Awards. You gonna help or not?
Bob,
Yeah.
Hello there.
to the podium so people can hear.
Okay, if I do this right. I'm Bob Richard. I'm the Executive Director of the Danville Public School Foundation. What, board meetings are just a celebration every time? This is great. You know,
all the time. Yeah. They're just wonderful.
You got me convinced. Tonight we're here to present some awards. I apologize. We put this together. We're still kind of coming out of COVID, as you all know, and this is the first time we've done this at a board meeting. So I'm going to put some of all the principals who have teachers receiving awards maybe on the spot, just to say a couple words about their teachers before we present the awards, if that's okay.
That'd be fine.
But first, a little background. The Danville Public School Foundation established these awards in 2001. At that time, Dr. Fields was retiring after a 40-year career with the Danville Public School, Danville District 118, and he had always expressed an interest to have something in place to recognize the outstanding teachers. You know, just listening tonight, you know, it's hard to select 5 teachers that are outstanding because evidently somebody's doing something right in the district, and it has to be the teachers working with the students. So kudos to all those teachers in the district. So we created the award, and then every year we ask the district to name teachers in the primary, intermediate, middle school, and high school, and have them select the teachers. We do not select the teachers. What we do after they're selected, we give them $500. The school district provides $500 in material support in their classroom. And then the Danville Education Association actually gives them a paperweight to commemorate the evening. Once the $500 is gone, they still have something to remind them that they are an excellence in teacher winner. And so it's a great partnership with all three of us doing this. This year, do you want me to announce the winners and then have the principals?
You can do whatever you like. You'd like to do that?
I love this. This is great. Okay.
Creating a monster.
Yes, you did. Never give me the mic. Bad. Okay, the winners were this year Mrs. Kim Frazier. Can you stand, Miss Frazier? From Danville High School. Stay standing. Miss Cherry, can you say how great of a teacher she is?
Yeah.
By the way, none of the principals have had any notice that they were going to do this. So,
But we're resourceful. We have our phones and it has our information and our emails, so we know how to do things. All right, I'm going to read a little bit of Kim's bio because it's very long. I'm always long-winded. Kim has been a district employee for the past 6 years. She came to the district as a physical therapy assistant. Come on up, Kim.
Yeah, thank you. It's your time. They're all going to stare at you, though. But it's a good thing.
This Kurt Ellis, our president of the Danville Public School Foundation, he's got he'll give you your award when you get your back.
And she soon became a certified teacher. Ms. Frazier has spent the last 3 years as a life skills special education teacher at Danville High School. This position is absolutely her calling. Ms. Frazier is an exemplary teacher who cares very deeply for her students, but has a genuine compassion for their mental, physical, and emotional well-being. As a new principal at Danville High School, I was thrilled when I learned that I would be evaluating the life skills classroom. I've always had a special place in my heart for these students because of their ability to work hard and bring joy daily. Ms. Frazier brings out the best in them as well. She familiarizes herself with a wide range of effective teaching practices and disciplines to accommodate the needs of her students. She sets very high expectations for their learning, never speaks about their challenges, but just meets them where they are. Ms. Frazier is able to engage all of her students no matter what their cognitive level. I am in awe of her ability to push students to surpass all expectations. She does not accept anything less than their best, and her students rise to the occasion. She works collaboratively with her co-workers during the most challenging and difficult times to successfully teach her students during COVID when all learning was remote. She not only was very successful with the students, but she involved the parents in the learning process as well. Parents and students were engaged and participating together. Her dedication during this time was outstanding, and it did not matter if she had to go to a student's home to support them online. She was going to do whatever it took. She works very closely with her parents and handles situations on her own. Ms. Frazier continues to build her knowledge of the unique curriculum used in her classroom. She overhauled the life skills course sequence to make sure it was aligned with graduation requirements. What Mrs. Frazier didn't know as her administrator, she was teaching me what I learned and witnessed in her classroom was that every child can succeed with support, motivation, and lots of love on a daily basis. She has taught me to always believe in my students no matter what their strengths or weaknesses may be. Finally, I've seen that success as a teacher is not measured by the test scores of your students, but more by your ability to help them succeed in life despite their differences. Kim Frazier is more than deserving of this honor, and we are blessed to have her at Danville High School.
Thank you. No, thank you. Congratulations. Thank you.
All right, our next recipient is from Northridge Middle School, Mrs. Erin Bergeron. Thank you, and Ms. Brooks will be here.
I'm not as long-winded as Tracy. I'll let you know that ahead of time. And you don't get to stand back there. You're going to stand right beside me. As soon as I get the phone to turn the right way. All right. And Erin hasn't heard this, so. Erin has been a Danville District 118 employee for 13 years as a 7th grade resource teacher at Northridge. She serves as an instructional leader and one of the PBIS coaches. As an instructional leader, Erin focuses her energy on finding solutions and guiding her PLC to implement curriculum with integrity. She is a true special education teacher, which is evident in the way she differentiates for her students. Mrs. Bergeron is the epitome of positive thinking. She can find the positive in any situation. Just ask. Colleagues and administration seek her out to hear her optimistic views. Erin works hard to build relationships with all students that extend beyond academics. She attends extracurricular events regularly in support of students. Students can always count on her to encourage them and to advocate for their best interests. Despite personal adversities, Erin shows up with an upbeat attitude full of grace and love for her students. In this unpredictable season of COVID, one thing remained a constant: Mrs. Bergeron's cheerful demeanor, and her dedication, I'm so sorry because she is so positive, to all of her students, staff, and parents at Northridge Middle School. I often see Erin out when I'm having a bad day, and she'll just find that little thing, and I'm like, you would find that little thing, right, for me to smile about. But I couldn't do it without her. And I thank her for being part of my administrative team. I appreciate you so much, and I wanted to honor you, so thank you.
Oh, no, you have more gifts.
Sorry,
I'll
take all.
Yeah.
Great job.
From Southview Upper Elementary School, Mrs. Karen Klett. And come on up.
Come on down.
And Mrs. Prunkard will be here to see. Principals think on their feet. They're always ready to do that.
We just have technology and. Good evening, Board and Dr. Geddes. Karen Klett started her path to a career in education through Eastern Illinois University in 2010, and after staying home to raise her 4 children, soon after graduating, Karen jumped into the role of a long-term substitute at Northridge, and Karen's experience as a long-term substitute assisted her in gaining experience needed to become a successful middle school teacher. The following year, 2014, Karen was hired to teach 6th grade at Northridge Middle School. During her tenure at District 118, Karen has continued teaching 6th grade math and science. Since reshaping Southview and Northridge, Karen has truly grown to love working with staff and students at Southview Upper Elementary School. Much of Karen's success has contributed to her struggles in school as a child. Karen states that she worked hard to overcome obstacles faced, which helped to develop her passion to help others so that they would benefit from public education and become valued members of the community. The passion is seen on a daily basis through Karen's teaching and desire to serve the students at Southview. Mrs. Klett is personally invested in each of her students' learning and takes pride in helping them reach their full potential. She sets high expectations, holds students accountable for learning, and advocates for all students. Karen is quick to identify when students have a deficit, then she works to ensure additional support is given. She does not stop working or stop reaching for support until students' needs are met. Karen takes much care in planning her lessons and ensuring individual student needs are met. She utilizes her daily planning time and personal time to meet with students one-on-one to review personal academic progress and goals. Karen sees the never-ending need for teaching students social emotional learning and goes above and beyond meeting with those students as a whole and independently during her personal time to review their goals. Mrs. Klett utilizes the school improvement plan to incentivize academic and behavioral growth. Karen also works with students on attendance incentives and goals. To ensure student success, Karen forms lasting partnerships with parents. Communication is constant and in place for all students. Karen's love of her students is evident in the relationships she builds with each student. She takes the time to get to know her students personally. Student birthdays are acknowledged, celebrated, and handwritten cards are given to students throughout the year, personalized with a thoughtful message about the student. Often, Karen is seen attending a student football or basketball game outside of school programs. Karen is nurturing, patient, and passionate when it comes to the students she serves. Mrs. Klett is constantly finding ways to work with the staff to make Southview a better place. She seeks to understand the needs of students and staff. Karen actively participates in PBIS, AVID, and has a willing to lead professional development for colleagues that are always wanting to come to writing professional developments, right? Mm-hmm. She's math, and she loves writing within math, which is amazing. Karen collaborates with her partner teacher and actively participates in weekly PLCs with her 6th grade unit team. Karen is certainly a team player that works hard to ensure peer teachers and all the Southview students are successful. Karen carries out all building level goals and initiatives. She brings innovative ideas that are well received by the staff and students. Administration can count on Karen to attend family engagement nights, activities, as well as volunteering her time at extracurricular events. Mrs. Klett is a lifelong learner. She is constantly researching best practices and ideas to implement in her classroom. Her passion for teaching students is evident and demonstrated daily. Not only does she serve students, but Karen also serves her peers as they often seek her for her feedback, support, and guidance. Karen is known for constantly checking in with her colleagues to ensure that they have enough support to accomplish their goals set forth. She is a mentor teacher to so many. She promotes and encourages school and district goals and is supportive of all our building initiatives. Karen's passion, drive, leadership, and involvement in students' daily lives is not evident to only administration, but also to parents and staff. Her hard work and dedication are appreciated and commendable. I also need to add, and I'm not trying to interrupt you, but I need to add that Karen came to me one day and she said, Miss Punkert, I have been dodging you all week. I haven't stopped by. I didn't want to see your face. And I was like, Karen, why? And she goes, I just couldn't do internal subbing this week. And I said, you should never be upset about this. She gives up her every plan period. She has lunch periods. And I'm telling you, day in and day out, I can always count on her. And I thought, I am so appreciative of any moment that you give up to work with our students that aren't in your classroom. But she said, and I said, please don't ever dodge me. I said, I'm appreciative of anything and I'm always willing to sub for a class. So I appreciate you, Karen. You're awesome.
Good job.
Before I forget, I talked to Dr. Fields on the phone. He's also on our board, and he happens to be in Texas this week, and he couldn't get back. But he said, please let the award recipients know how proud he is of them and how important their efforts are in the classroom. So Dr. Fields would have loved to have been here tonight. Our next recipient is Mrs. Emily Carter from Northeast Magnet School. Mr. Thorolton.
Hey everybody, I'm Justin Thorolton. I'm the principal at Northeast Elementary Magnet School. It's my honor to introduce Mrs. Emily Carter. Very honored for her to receive this award. And like everyone else, I'll go back to the phone here to read all the nice things about her. But just personally, my first year at Garfield as a principal, she was there as a data instructional facilitator. She helped me make my job a lot easier. I remember when I first got a job as a data instructional facilitator, the principal there said, can you make my job easier? I said, of course I can. You know, that's what I'm here for. And that's exactly what she did while I was at Garfield. So straight away, I was super appreciative of her. And then I was only there for a year. And then I moved over to Northeast, and she happened to be there at the same time. So we've been there for the past 4 years together. I really don't need to read this. So she, has the best interest of kids at heart. Definitely does whatever she needs to do to help them learn, succeed. Differentiates her instruction. She's a great, I think, leader within our school. People come to her and for advice and talk to her. Definitely, attends professional development. Does all the good stuff to basically help her continue to be the best teacher that she can be. So, Miss Emily Carter, congratulations.
This is fun.
It is, isn't
I like
it? Let's do this more often.
Let's keep doing it.
Okay. We can do it next week then, if you want.
We can keep going, yeah. I can have more of these made.
We don't have that much money. Our final recipient for 2022 is Mrs. Amber Tutwiler, and Mrs. Porter will be. I've known Amber since she was about this big. So.
Say exactly what those young kids said. I'm nervous, so bear with me. This is not anything I like to do, so just like those kids say. But they did a great job. So good evening, Dr. Geddes and board, and all of my friends over here. This is Amber Tutwiler, and I am going to read because I was prepared. I didn't. It is my pleasure to nominate Amber. She has taught in District 118 for 24 years. She taught at Garfield, Northeast, and she's currently at Edison. At Edison, she plans activities in her class that allow all students to be successful. She has served as a unit leader, been on multiple committees, taught kindergarten blast-off and summer school, trained in letters and foundations, and has been involved in developing curriculum at the elementary level. Amber has established high expectations for all her students and believes all students can succeed. She develops a positive rapport with her students that leads to student success. Amber builds quality relationships with her students that is nurturing and positive, so all the students in her kindergarten class feel safe and welcome. Amber continually reflects on her teaching and works closely with her co-teachers to establish the best lessons and activities for her classes. She has attended multiple AVID workshops and has taken the time to incorporate those strategies into her lessons. Mrs. Button would be very proud. She uses a wide variety of questions that challenge her students cognitively and engages them in her lessons. Amber continuously grows in her profession. Over the years, she has attended a variety of professional developments, trainings, and webinars. She has her master's degree in curriculum and instruction. Amber volunteers to attend any new programs that are being offered to better herself, and she has taught summer school for multiple years. Amber is the leader in the building and continuously searches for resources to implement in her classroom to allow students a variety of strategies to learn. Instruction is differentiated, and she will reach out to others to find the best methods to use for all students to succeed. Amber has touched the lives of many students in District 118 and currently at Edison, and we consider her to be an outstanding teacher and worthy of this award.
You.
Again, congratulations to our 2022 recipients. Back in 2020, we had 4 teachers that received this same award, and they've already received their $500 and their paperweights and all that, but they didn't get this because Evening of Singing and Dancing was our method of letting everybody know, and it didn't happen. So we wanted to bring them here tonight to introduce them. There won't be any long speeches or anything, but we do have certificates for them. So I would like for Matthew Scovran from Southview, Jamie Scovran from Kenneth B. Bailey, and Joanna Howard from Danville High School to come up if she's here. No?
Yeah. Celebrating his birthday tonight. Right?
The other winner was Scott Stewart. I will say one short thing about these two. They really know how to use the Danville Public School Foundation. They have written more grants. Together, they are very good at it. And we are very happy to help you guys out.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Congratulations. Thank you very much for your time tonight. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bob. We certainly appreciate the foundation.
Don't leave. Like, we have some kids come. Like, don't move. I know we would normally leave. Everybody, come on, sit down, Bob. You're not leaving either. Because I have some more kids coming up, and I want to make sure you guys see these next group of kids as well. So I saw y'all getting ready. And the Scovrans, haven't we seen you on the cover of a magazine?
Yes, we did.
Can I do this? Can I switch now? Because these kids need to go. Can I switch her business to the next? No.
Yes, why don't we do that? We can do that. Sit down, business. We have no business. But I want to take we applauded you all individually. What a collective group, and just let's give it to them one more time, guys. That is just absolutely incredible. Yeah. It is truly inspiring to hear the stories about all of you, and that's just some of them that we picked. As we were joking about it, we could give many, many more awards, and we will next year. But we certainly do appreciate all the hard work and the wonderful things that have gone on in the district, and it makes the night even better. So we're going to switch item number 8 with number 7, and because we have some wonderful things to go, we don't have to wait 10 minutes. We're going to hear it now.
So I'm going to go to the podium, and I have a new crew with me. So I would like my crew to join me. Jacob, Lexi, Faith.
Well, look at them.
Administrators of the future. And it's difficult because I'm used to being up there with all my papers and spread out, so I pray I can make this happen.
Good luck.
Here. Yay. I'm pushing buttons up here. It's probably nothing's working now, I'm telling you. So I I serve, hi, good afternoon, evening. I'm Dr. Alicia Geddes. Good evening, Dr. Geddes, Board of Education. It's me. I'm so happy. So I sit on the board for, the executive board for Vermillion Advantage. And there are 14 other executives, ThyssenKrupp, Flexen Gate, Danville Metal Stamping, and they were talking about the employment crisis that we have in Vermillion County. I can tell you, for example, Danville Metal has 1,038 jobs available, and they don't have the ability to fill it. Many of them were six-figure jobs. The other companies, the other 14 executives had the same story. And I'm listening, I'm like, but wait a minute. I have bodies. I have kids who are about to graduate, and they need jobs, and they need the ability to pay for school. So if I go in there and get them, will you help my babies pay for school? Will you help me with them? And I think, they were like, yeah, They didn't know who they were talking to. So I went into Danville High School. Thank you, counselors, for not being intimidated, because it's kind of intimidating when the superintendent walks in and starts doing what is a job that is yours. I get that was awkward, and they handled that very graciously. I appreciate it. Sade Pascal, my right hand, Amy, Mr. Wagers. You know what I talk about, how I'm thinking and it's evolving, and they could move. And now I want DAC. Can somebody call Dr. Nacko? I need some people here. I need some people to enroll my kids, and I need some people to give me schedules. And they just made it happen. And then I had Patty Juarez, and she started doing FAFSAs on one side of me, and then we were doing other things, and I'm calling parents, and they were all coming. So I was able, of my 191 graduating seniors that are listed, I met with 108 of them. Then I said, oh my God, what happened to the others? I had 72 early graduates, and I had, so I thought I dropped the ball, but no, right? So after meeting, we have 106 resumes done. And then so I didn't think to count initially, so I missed my first 3 days, right? I'm gonna do better next time. I know 38 of them are going to DAC. After the first 3 days, 18 of them applied with me. I did 20 FAFSAs. I know that 87 of our kids are going to college. 3 of them are going into the military, and 2 of them are going into the trades. But what we don't celebrate, and we're going to change this narrative about our babies. Please make sure I have my numbers about my full rides, because that's the whole thing about Geddes and her full rides. Where is my paper? Oh, here it is. So if we have 190 kids, right, so 19 would be 10%. What we don't say about Danville is that 10% of our students have full rides to college. And that's very different when you have 190 students graduating than when you have 20. So me and my colleagues are not singing the same song when I say I have 10%. Our babies are going to, of course, New York State University. You know, I'm a New Yorker, so I was really happy about that. And then we have one baby, he has a full ride, and he is an aerospace engineer. And so many comp sci majors, et cetera, and I was just so happy. So now we're going to do it. I'm taking out a full ad in the commercial news about our full rides, because they need to know what happens here in Danville District 118. This side are all of our full ride babies, and then there are the other scholarships. Many of them, for example, Lily McKiernan, her ride isn't full, but is like 90% of, she has like almost like $90,000 worth of tuition. The Dell Scholar, I wasn't able to include her in full ride because it didn't quite cover all of it, so I don't want to say I was cheating. But we have babies like Lily, and we have the baby who just left here, who have substantial amounts of money for scholarships, and we never celebrate them. But we're going to stop that, because we have ads. I'm going to commercial news. I went into Danville Area Living, and we're going to start. So please, when you see these babies, make sure you tell them, job well done. So I have a crew here with me today. I'm so excited. And they would just like to say something about our experience together. We all met. So I'm going to start with Jacob. Come on.
Good evening, Board and Dr. Geddes. Before meeting with Dr. Geddes, I had no plan for the near future or college. But after meeting with Dr. Geddes, I had a plan to go to Eastern Illinois University to study art education. I had never imagined this for myself. As for finances, Dr. Geddes is generously seeing what she can do to help me pay with them. And I'd like to thank the board and Dr. Geddes for having me tonight.
Again, they just needed somebody to talk to them, and I had a couple of them come in and say, "Oh, I'm gonna take a gap year." That did not go well with me at all. In fact, there were only 2 that escaped with those words, just because it was like, okay, it's gonna take me a little while to get them on in. But of all of them that tried to tell me about a gap year, yeah, everybody applied to DAC. Come on, Lexi.
Hello, everyone. I also met with Dr. Geddes during the school year. That was a fun experience. I have been working in the DHS library as a student helper for this past year. And so every time that she was there at third hour, she'd be like, come here, come here. And so I'd go see her, and we talked about every day that she was there. We worked out a resume for a possible job over the summer in the DHS library as maybe a teacher's assistant, since our librarian is leaving. So I'm excited for that opportunity.
Great job. And then we have Miss Faith. Now, I don't know who taught her to say what she said, but that's some game right there, and I respect it. So we're going to have Faith come on up and tell her what she said.
Hello, everyone. My name is Faith Sherman. For the longest time, I have always had this feeling in my heart that I wanted to be like part of this system of the district. And I came to Dr. Geddes and I told her that I'm going to Eastern Illinois to study business and education. She asks me, well, what do you plan to do with that? And I said, I want to be the next superintendent. I'd never seen someone so happy in my entire life. So I took her up on that, and hopefully I'm getting an internship this summer to work with her.
So tonight, Board of Education, I'm coming to ask you to allow us to establish part of the Grow Your Own vision that you had for us, and to allow me to offer employment part-time summer employment internship-y type of employment opportunities for my graduating seniors in the areas of education, which Mrs. Mary Ellen Button will oversee, technology, Mrs. Annette Hummel, building trades, because I had a number of babies who just said, I want to be a plumber. Can you just get me there? I said, let's figure it out. I have written to IBEW, and I'm going to see somebody, and we're going to get this baby into the plumbing profession. I don't know what that means, but I'm going to learn, okay? I've contacted the cosmetology schools. I know how to be an airline stewardess. I have learned some things. So, and then the culinary program, I have some babies who want to go in there, and Mrs. Zeta Pajot will oversee them. Yes, you must be 17 and over. And it's $12 an hour. So I'm asking for your permission to establish this part 1, because I would like someone to say, get us started part 2. But I'm asking for that for tonight.
Do you need a motion?
I did all that wrong. That's what I'll get for letting me be over here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, she's looking for a motion. So do we have a motion to approve the Grow Your Own student board?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments for our superintendent? Well, you should ask this question.
Yes.
What's it gonna cost us?
Well, it depends on okay, so let me tell you. So
Then I'll make a comment.
I haven't slept in 3 days. I have woken up in the middle of the morning at 4:00 in the morning, and I text Amy and Sade. I was like, oh my God, I didn't teach them how to do an interview. So at 4:00 in the morning, I'm emailing everybody, but we have videos for you to watch, and I'm going to send them to you, which is why technology, I need them to keep their for 1 year, okay? Yep, so I'm going to go to sleep tonight. I really am, but I'm so excited. Okay, so what is it going to cost? Yep, so I don't know, because I don't know how many I'm going to get because I'm in competition. These are all the resumes that I sent out to companies about my babies, and I put them in competition with one another because Danville Metal Stamping, you got the same ones that Fibertech, so may the best man win. And then I told them today, you need to move quickly because I'm joining the race because I need techs. I can teach them how to be techs too, right, Ellen? And I can teach you how to get, so I don't know how many I will have. But Kelly has money. Where's Kelly? Kelly has money. She'll help me. Okay, so I can come back to you with a summary of the program. That's why I don't have exact numbers for you.
And you said it was $12 an hour?
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am.
I mean, that's what we need to know. This isn't a $10 million project that we're looking at. Okay, that's what I think what the public would like to know. That's good. Okay, so we have a motion on the floor for our Summer Grow Your Own student work program, which I think is an excellent idea, and I hope that it passes. Roll call vote, please.
Yes.
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 Yes, motion passes 6-0. We were afraid not to vote yes.
You know, if you told me to do a part two, I could probably convince, grow my own teachers and get them locked in with maybe a promissory note that I'm already ready to go with, that they could actually come back and be teachers in the district. But I'll wait for you to tell me that in the part two, okay? Yep, I'm ready. All right, so with that, I have an extra surprise, right? Because I talked to Dr. Henderson at Eastern, and we have some extra scholarship money that is coming out, and they don't know about it yet. But Jacob Fox! And Deasia isn't here tonight, but Deasia also got an extra scholarship. I actually secured another scholarship for somebody else, but I forgot that she was in the College of Business and she's in the college, the College of Education couldn't give her a scholarship, but she really would. I know. Yep. So we're gonna work on maybe what her real major is, right? Okay. All right. So, in addition to that, I was so moved by them. We now have the Dr. Geddes Scholarship Fund. And I would like to announce the award winners of the Dr. Alicia Geddes Scholarship. That would include Miss Lexi Adams, Ian Borch, Kyra Dudley, I hate that she left, Rebecca Fearborn, Tyler Finley, Jacob Fox, Deasia Gamble, Clara Graham, Jaden Hess, Natalie Hurley. I really have two more students, but we didn't finish their paperwork with their major, so I'm going to skip them. Faith Sherman and Laurie L. Wilson. What would they have in common? They might be in the College of Education, and so they are all recipients of $250 scholarships from Dr. G. But there were also 3 students who are not in the College of Ed, who are just outstanding students. And so I'm also going to extend that to Mr. Declan Miller. And so Jared Reed. Jared Reed, like Lexi, Jared, I think I was there 7 days. Jared had to come every day. Okay, Jared, this day we doing the FAFSA. It takes us 2 days to do the FAFSA. Okay, Jared, this day we are doing the resume. Okay, it took us okay, Jared, come back, and now we are applying to that. Jared had to come every day, and you would think they would avoid me like Mr. Brandon Geddes avoided me, but he came every day, and he was like, okay, are we ready? We just gonna have a plan, Dr. Geddes. Whatever the plan is, we're gonna have it. And just for his tenacity and his stick-to-itiveness, I'm gonna give him one too. And then Tyler Finley. Oh my God. He said, Dr. Geddes, I watched you at the board meeting, and he said, I'm gonna fix it for you. He said, I know there's an issue, White King. He said, I know there's an issue between black people and the police department. I am going into the police department, and Dr. Geddes, I'm going to fix it for you. I promise you, have faith. And just because he was willing to kind of address the issue, he going to get one too. So I'm just so grateful. So grateful. So I just want to thank y'all for allowing me to clear my calendar and to go in and be with these students. They were this has been the best. I don't know how long I've been there because I'm sleep deprived, but whatever the days have been the best days in the last 5 years. And so you guys did more for committing me back to education because I've contacted TRS about 10 times. And just what you've done for me, you just do not know. And I just love y'all. And thank you. Good job. And y'all are free to go home until I call you tomorrow. Okay? All right. And yes, the Dr. Geddes scholarships will be paid. That's why I had y'all establish that fund for me last time. I'm going to pay through y'all, and we're going to pay directly to the school because I need to make sure you're enrolled. All right. Thank you.
Can we go?
Yeah, we can go now.
Can we go? Thank you all.
I'm crying again.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.
All set.
Congratulations to everybody. We planted a lot of seeds. Hope they grow into really strong trees
Time to sleep. I'm gonna get some sleep.
in a few years. I guess we'll do the business and then come back to 8B after that.
Best days ever.
Well, where'd everyone go?
Can we go too?
I don't feel like anyone's staring at us anymore.
I thought they were here for the business portion. Move the camera around. The camera so it's there.
No, don't take it personal, Miss Rankin. Everybody
Yeah,
laughed.
Miss Rankin,
that's not the.
you know how to clear a
Switch the
room.
camera.
I told y'all yesterday to let me up there.
Yeah, you talk about money.
My goodness. That's awesome.
Yes.
Best days ever.
And you'd think they'd want to hear about this because this is going to be exciting and save everybody some money.
They don't know that.
Well, they're gonna learn. Yeah.
So they're letting him know that I'm waiting.
Okay. I'm sorry.
I'm glad.
I want to see if there's a way to enlarge this after we let this in.
Thank you.
This is big right here. This is what she's doing.
Okay. Hi, Mr. Lewis.
I'm asleep.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, I disconnected. Is that gonna come
Doing
back?
some techie stuff now, right now, so give us one moment.
Okay.
Okay.
You hot? I'm so hot. I'm freezing.
Okay. Good evening, board. Dr. Geddes, D118 family. I am Narcissus Rankin, Director of Business and Finance. And this evening, we have a presentation regarding Bond Series 2012B, which will be callable December 1st, 2022. And this means that we have an opportunity to refinance the outstanding bonds at a lower interest rate in order to save money over the lifetime of the bonds. Mr. Lewis with PMA Securities is here this evening with us virtually to present a breakdown of the current outstanding bonds and the potential savings to the district with the refinancing of Bond Series 2012B. Okay, Mr. Lewis.
Okay. Well, thank you for having me here tonight. And I apologize I could not be there in person to present this to you. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen if that's okay, and then walk you through this presentation. So, that was a good introduction provided by Ms. Rankin about the presentation we'll have here tonight. The first section here is a market update provided by Stiefel Nicholas, who has worked with the district in the past as a placement agent and as the underwriter. Now, there's a lot of data on this slide. I'm not going to go over every single data point here. I'm just going to focus on this graph here in the upper left-hand corner. This is an index we use within our industry to monitor trends in the municipal bond market as far as interest rates go. And if you just keep your attention on the dark blue line here in the middle, that's the 10-year rate. And this data set goes back to the beginning of 2020, just before the pandemic started. And right at the beginning of the pandemic, we went through quite a bit of volatility in the market. And then we got to about this point. Here's when we refinanced one of your other bond series, which I'll recap here in a couple of slides. Interest rates stayed relatively stable in this narrow band for several months, a year and a half approximately, until we got to January of this year, when everybody returned from the holidays and seemingly was very concerned about inflation and the Federal Reserve, as more and more data came out that showed that inflation was something that was one of the biggest problems in our national economy, indeed the world economy, and as such, the Federal Reserve started raising interest rates. So you can see this 10-year rate, for the most part, has moved upward. Now, this data set was updated last week, and the good news is since this data set was last updated, there's been a significant improvement, or what we call rally, in the municipal bond market, and this 10-year rate has actually come down to less than 2.5%. So we saw interest rates fall less, more than 0.5% in a little over a week. So that's the first positive news that we've seen all year long, which of course that is good for you when we talk about the potential reissuance of bonds to refinance outstanding debt service. I'm going to just go ahead and bypass this slide, just some more market data. The general theme here is rising interest rates until of late, where we've seen some improvement in the municipal market. And so in 2020, we initiated a process to refinance a couple of the district's bond issues. And the first financing that was refunded was the 2011 A bonds. And just to recap that refinancing, the amount that was refinanced was $10 million, and the average interest rate was almost 5.4%. Those are two key factors to keep in mind, because the financing, the other bond series that we're talking about refinancing tonight to complete the second part of this plan, is a smaller financing, also had a much lower interest rate than 5.4%. So the opportunity for savings isn't as great as it was when the 11A bonds were refinanced a couple years ago. Ultimately, and again, without extending the term of the bonds, the final payment was kept in the same year. The refinancing saved almost $2.7 million, or nearly 26% reduction in terms of the amount of principal outstanding. So that is, I know you're not, you don't work in the municipal bond industry, and so you're not as familiar with the magnitude of this 26% savings, but this had to be, I believe, the highest percentage savings of any financing I worked on in my 25-year career. So it just gives you some idea of how good your timing was in refinancing this bond issue a couple years ago. So this is a graphical representation of your debt service. Debt service is your combined principal and interest payments. So the gray area represents what the payments were before the refinancing program began in 2020, when that first series was callable, and the payments were lowered to these columns that you see here. The dark gray just means those are payments you've already levied and paid since the refinancing program began. And these are payments that you've yet to pay over the next few years. Now, what stands out in this graph are these last two payments, where you would see an increase back to where the payments were prior to the refinancing a couple years ago. And that's because there was no principal in these 2 years as it relates to the refinancing of the 2011 A bonds. So what's the next step then? Because the next step is to try to lower these payments to keep this a fairly consistent line going up the next several years. So step two, you have the 12,000 B bonds are $4.5 million. As Ms. Rankin stated earlier, those bonds are callable on December 1st of 22. And what does that mean that bonds are callable? So oftentimes when I talk about refinancing debt obligations, I'm talking in the context, or I can compare this to the context of refinancing a home mortgage, and which we've all done as individuals. The key difference between refinancing a home mortgage and refinancing a bond issue is that home mortgages can be refinanced at any time. A municipal bond cannot be refinanced until you, on a tax exempt basis, until you're within 90 days of that call date. So roughly 90 days of that call date would be September 1st of 2022. Hence why the timing of our conversation is timely, given the proximity to that window in which you can refinance this bond issue. Now, the average rate on the 12B bonds is right around 3.96%. So as you may recall earlier in the presentation, I was contrasting that the rate on that bond issue was 5.36%, and the amount the amount that was refinanced was $10 million. So the potential savings from refinancing this bond issue is not nearly of the same magnitude as the other one, and it's really for three reasons. One, you have a smaller bond issue. The interest rate you're refinancing is already 1.3% lower than what the bonds you refinanced 2 years ago, and interest rates have risen since then. Now, interest rates are still below what you see that you're currently paying on these bonds. You know, my estimate in today's market, you'd probably be somewhere around 3% as a new interest rate. So what is the estimated savings associated with this? Is right around $200,000 at our current estimate of interest rates, which was done in late May. Now, that's always going to fluctuate until the rate is locked in at a bond sale. But just to give you some idea of the sensitivity of this, for every 0.1% change in interest rates, the amount of savings will fluctuate by $35,000. So if interest rates go up by, 0.1%, this number would go down to 161. If interest rates went down by 0.1%, then this would rise above $200,000. What's important is not only the savings that potential in connection with the 2012B bonds, it's also the completion of the restructuring refunding plan that initiated a couple years ago, which is to eliminate the further increases in debt service in these last 2 years. As you recall, these last 2 years, there would be an increase here because there was no principal that was due on the 11A bonds in this year. The 12B bonds has principal in these 2 years, and that's why we're able to refinance that with the savings and create this smooth, gradual increase, just like you had before, but at an amount substantially lower than it was 2 years ago, which prior to the refinancing began 2 years ago, as a reminder, it reflected that gray area. This green line represents an estimate for the bond and interest tax rate, which historically it's been right around 60 cents. And while the payment is scheduled to go up gradually each year, that essentially follows an assumed growth rate of your EAV about 1 to 2%, which has been fairly consistent over the last several years. And if EAV continues in that pattern, then the bond and interest tax rate will stay roughly the same. So the last slide I have here in the main body of the presentation is if the board chooses to proceed to complete this plan to create the level payment structure and to capture the savings associated with the 2012 bonds, the suggested or draft timeline of events could be as follows. So the presentation tonight to the board, and the term sheet is a marketing document that would go out to potential bidders that could be released as early as June 7th, with bids due 3 weeks later. And but this could not occur unless the board took official action at its June 15th meeting to adopt what's called a parameters resolution, which would set forth important terms like the not to exceed par amount, so that it'd be enough of a par amount to refinance those bonds. It would set the maximum principal date as far as retirement goes. So this bond issue currently is retired in levy year 2031. So that would be put in as a parameter as the maximum year at which the bonds could be retired, because we don't want to extend the debt at all. And so subject to meeting those parameters, when the bids are due, the delegates, which would be one member of the administration, the board president, can approve the winning bid, which would come from a bank. And then, as you recall, I earlier said the bonds can't close to you within 90 days of the call date of December 1st of 22. Well, that'd be right around September 5th of 22. Actually, I think that's Labor Day, so we'd have to bump that out by a day to September 6th. And so, the process that is being undertaken here, where we go directly to banks, is called a direct placement. It's a little different process than we had 2 years ago. A couple of years ago, it was a public offering that went out to the public, where an underwriter bought the bonds and resold them to their investor clientele. And that type of process works really well for certain bond issues. You have to have a rating, has additional cost issuance associated with it. And the direct placement, one of the benefits of it is not only can you lock in the rate about, in this case, 3 months in advance, you also eliminate some of the participants in the financing, like a credit rating. We wouldn't need a credit rating, which eliminates a fee. You wouldn't need an underwriter, and some of the legal costs are also eliminated in a direct placement to a bank. That is what is under consideration here. So that is the sum of the presentation. So it's probably a good time now for me to pause and address any questions that the board may have.
The bond rate is established in September then, when the bond close?
No, the bond rate would be when the bids...
Or when we offer it?
Yeah, and June 28th is when the rate would be locked in.
Got it.
So that would eliminate your market risk. It's just like with your home closing at that point. You have the opportunity to lock in the rate, and then you probably won't settle the mortgage for several weeks later.
Yeah, okay. Any other questions? Nope.
Okay.
Onward.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for your time tonight. And again, I apologize for not being able to be there in person with you.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.
Right.
Well done.
And I'm pleased to say that the savings actually increased between my protesting. I'm like, now. And so miraculously, we have $90,000 more in savings on the table. So
yeah,
he did a great job.
Keep it going.
Okay. Thank you.
Looked like he just sucked the air off of the room from y'all. Because the geek, the school finance geek over here loved that. Yeah. That's good for me.
He had a little less energy than you.
Just a little bit. I'm going to bed.
Perfect. All right. Good evening, board. Dr. Geddes. I'm Kim Papps, Director of Human Resources.
Who are you?
I have a lot for you tonight, though. Hello. The first one I think someone already presented, though, Dr. Geddes. So can we skip it? I mean, it was all yours anyway, so I'm good with it. But do you need more details on it, or can we skip A since we've already? Dr. Geddes presented
yeah, we did that already.
You did that. No more information needed. It's months, June and July. Okay, next. Moving on. The next piece I have, everyone, is from what I presented last board meeting. And this is moving the proficient and excellent tenured teacher evaluations from every other year to every 3 years. And that just goes with the current laws that are in place. So for each of you, this is a recommendation to proceed with this MOA.
Move approval.
Thank you.
Is this a B for the?
This is B, yes.
Yeah, 8B?
Yep.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion, and I have a motion and a second to approve the evaluation of licensed staff memorandum agreement with DEA. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Mrs. Carey?
Yes.
Mrs. Schrader?
Yes.
Dr. Park?
Yes.
Mrs. Holland?
Yes.
Mr. Easton?
Yes.
Dr. Anderson?
Yes, motion passes 6-0.
Thank you.
C.
Ready for C? All right. C is a recommendation for teaching assistants
who are currently working as a teaching assistant in school, beginning their student teaching next semester. What we would like to do is remain with their salary of the TA while they're doing their student teaching and also their benefits. So they would continue as normal, student teach for our district, and then we'll see where they land after that, if they continue to be student teachers or if they go into teaching. But we would like to recommend that we continue their salary and benefits while they do this in our district.
I move approval.
Second. Have a motion and a
Thank you.
second for teaching assistants MOA with the DEA. First of all, I want to thank for working together with the DEA to put this together. It just doesn't happen. Everyone in the room knows that. So thank you very much. We certainly do appreciate that, and hope to continue that. May I have a roll call vote, please?
I have a question.
Oh, please.
Is there a commitment element to this for the student teachers, that they commit to working for the district or for a period of time?
It can bring them back as a teaching assistant, or they can then apply for a teaching position. So there's not a commitment in terms of becoming a teacher and doing this for 5 years. It's for us to get to see them in the field and for them to get the feel of it, but it does continue them on as a TA, or if they want to pursue teaching, they can apply for that.
Do you know if there are any other schools doing this right now?
Around here, that I do not know, but I certainly can get that for you.
I just wondered where you got the idea.
Brainstorming with all of us, like minds.
Very good.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like it. It's good. I just wondered where it came from.
I mean, I'll take the credit for it, but I'm sure it was more than just me on this one. But.
But I'm sure it'll be
It's not
ripped
the
off.
first time. It's not the first time that we've talked about it.
No, it's not. It's just the first time that we've actually.
Someone else
put it-
was in personnel when.
Do you remember that? I wish you would have done it when I was student teaching.
I'm sure
Because
other
you were in
schools will
HR when I was
follow.
student teaching, just so you know.
Any other questions? Roll call vote, please.
Mrs. Schrader?
Yes.
Elder Clark?
Yes.
Mr. Easton?
Yes.
Mrs. Allen?
Yes.
Mrs. Terry?
Yes.
Dr. Ashton?
Yes, motion passes 6-0. 8D.
The next one is something new that we'd like to again recommend, especially with our new counselor coordinator, Miss Amanda Campbell. We know what our students need, and they need a lot of assistance. That's something that Dr. Geddes is placing on all of us. We've got to get these babies back in gear. So we're looking to implement, just like our social workers and psychologists internships, a school counselor internship to attract people to come into the district. We've had teachers that have a Pell already and go back to get their school counselor positions, but we also have people that are coming in that do not have a Pell, that they're just coming, that's a professional educator's license for those watching. So we want to attract these individuals into our district so we can offer more services with school counselors for all grades. So at this time, we'd like to recommend an $18,500 yearly internship salary for them, with an additional 5 days, which is the same as, up to 5 days, which is the same as our school counselors now. Total package of $19,014.
There's a motion here for counselor intern for $19,014. We have a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments?
I have a question.
Mhm.
Here we-
Are we number-wise? Kim, do we know?
Right now, in terms of how many counselors we have,
No. How many internships are
We'll
we
have-
offering each year?
if we pass this tonight, we'll have one already for next year.
Okay.
And it's someone that's been subbing for us nonstop for year after year after year, that has worked their way through and is ready for an internship. We'd love to snag her, him or her. We like to snag them. So,
Will this person report directly to Mrs. Campbell?
yes. Yep. Surprise. We'll talk about that later. So even if we could get a person a year, that would be amazing. I mean, there's years that we have a lot of social work interns. There's years we don't have any. The same for psychologists. But, at this point, we really want to get these services to every grade level. We'd love to have him, right, Dr. Geddes, in every building, because we know the need. So
And this
bring
is
him
for
on.
This is for the high school.
No, this, it could be. We'll look at the placement, we'll look at the needs with Amanda. But we have school counselors at Southview and at Northridge. And we'd be willing to take them even lower, absolutely.
It says 180 days. Is it that they're there the whole school day then?
Yes.
Okay.
And we'll work that out with the colleges. Some colleges, depends on what the individual has in terms of credits, what their requirements are. So we'll work that through with the colleges. It
So they
seems
could-
anymore, there's no,
They could
even for
flex their
student
time.
teaching, it's different now.
They could flex their time.
Yes, it's
Either
very
in the
different.
afternoon or evening. Yeah, okay.
It's different based on what their colleges want. It's the same anymore for even teaching. It's a unique world. It's not like it used to be.
Any other questions, comments? Okay, the motion is for counselor intern, $19,014 up to.
Up to you.
Roll call vote, please.
Mrs. Tyler?
Yes.
Mrs. Schrader?
Yes.
Elder Park?
Yes.
Mr. Easton?
Yes.
Mrs. Pierce? Dr.
Yes, motion passes 6-0. That brings us to 8, whatever.
I'm
is in
back.
elephant.
Yes, we're back again with substitute rates. I know we just approved these rates, but we did some more digging, and we need to be a little more competitive with our colleagues around here, with our surrounding schools. So to assist with recruiting and retaining substitutes, we would like to make a recommendation to up it, bless you, to $15 a day for TAs, teaching assistants, $15 a day for secretaries and LRCs, and then $20, not a day, an hour, I apologize, $20 an hour. Sorry, I was on a roll here, I'm sorry. Somebody should have stopped me.
Good luck finding that person.
No joke. $15 an hour for TAs, secretaries, LRCs, and $20 an hour for teachers. That is competitive with our surrounding areas. And it does obviously meet the minimum wage requirements as $15 is minimum wage in 2025. So,
Okay.
and we need them. We need substitutes.
Substitute pay recommendation in front of you. We have a motion, please?
So move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any questions, comments?
I just wondered, it's the minimum of the minimum wage in 2025.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Do you think I'll be back?
yeah.
Yes.
You think you'll be back?
Yes.
I wonder if you went too low. Do you think you went too low?
It would affect the whole structure of food service. Still, like, there's a whole structure in place.
So there's a
that-
reason you went with the number you went with. Of course, I knew that. But I just, in my mind, I'm thinking out loud. I think it's still too low. I'm just going to say that. I think it's too low.
Raises for everyone.
I'm thinking, hey, let's start a new conversation outside of the meeting.
We don't want to let.
Well, I
let
mean,
the
if
cat out of
15's the minimum, I mean,
2025.
15's the minimum. And these are much more important jobs than some of the things I do for minimum wage, right? Yeah, okay.
I like your train of thought, yes.
Okay, we have substitute pay recommendation in front of you. Roll call vote, please.
Elder Park?
Yes.
Mrs. Tyler?
Yes.
Mrs. Pierce?
Yes.
Mr. Easton?
Yes.
Mrs. Schrader?
Yes.
Dr. Ashton?
Yes, motion passes 6-0.
Okay, the last one I have is a first reading for the job description of auditorium manager. This person would work at Danville High School. They would have the joy of learning all of the new equipment that's coming, state-of-the-art equipment, I've been told, that is coming to our auditorium. So they would not only work with scheduling district events, but outside events, making sure everything is ready. They would have that background knowledge and the lighting, the sound. I'm not going to act like I know the job, but they'd have to have the background knowledge to do the auditorium. We have a lot of great equipment coming in, and we need someone that knows what to do with it and how to take care of it, on top of just the scheduling of the events that are all year long. So it
And
is
this is part of the buildings and grounds.
do you see I keep looking at Seth? All the equipment, you can tell them the equipment is a lot, right? And so we need somebody with that background knowledge to come in. So
Look at
this is
Skip.
just a first reading. Yes, we are.
My crew is tired.
We need somebody with some knowledge, don't we? Yeah, so first reading only for this job description. I'll be back on June 15th with a lot of knowledge.
The only thing I would say is that, as I understand it, it used to be the head custodian at the high school that used to do that job. And, of course, that person can change from time to time. And I appreciate are thinking about investing in this type of manager because the higher tech it is, the more important it is that we treat it effectively. The question I guess I would have is, I know that we are moving into kind of where there's a music, what is it? Like a music trades class, maybe that's a Mary Ellen class, or a Mary Ellen question, that if someone was interested in sound and lighting, would this person then be able to help a student maybe do a study with that?
Absolutely. I mean,
I could see that happening.
That was part of the class, is they had that in mind when they discussed that or created that class, is they kind of, knowing that this was coming in the auditorium, and that they had that in mind.
Because back in the day in the theater community and like kids, they would love to get their hands all over that board, and that was a concern of mine of having such an investment, just to make sure that is really locked down and that we are managing it with great stewardship, and then stewarding the training of anyone else whose hands touch it.
Absolutely. I mean, with this position, as you'll see with the job description, I mean, we're looking for someone with that bachelor's in the fine arts or technical, the theater piece. So, I mean, the job description has a lot in there. It is, we definitely need somebody with training on this. Yeah. And that could assist with the students and just make it, I mean, it'll be a full-time job with very has to be flexible hours.
The only thing I didn't really like, I love the position. The only thing I didn't like under that general qualifications, and it's probably because of my work with CMS in Illinois, equivalent professional experience. I always hate when I see that. What would that mean for someone with a Bachelor of Fine Arts in Theater?
Because it's so broad.
Yeah, I hate it. I think it should be like scratched out of there. Like, why not just a Bachelor of Fine Arts in Theater? Or equivalent professional experience.
Well,
I mean, if you're talking, I guess what I mean is if you're talking about someone who
Somebody wants to steal
is
the
a
thunder.
theater manager.
Because lighting and sound, particularly with the system that we're investing in, you could have somebody that doesn't have a fine arts per se bachelor's, but they have a bachelor's in sound design, lighting. They have, it gives you flexibility that if they have an equal, without saying a specific degree, but yet could be the exact
It could mean
person
no
you want.
degree though, the way that it's written too.
I mean, that's why it's written broadly.
Yeah, I just don't like it.
No, you cannot.
So I'm gonna jump in on that and go,
about equal
that was the first thing I saw.
opportunity.
And I went, do I need a fine art? I don't know about that.
No.
Do I need a college degree for this? I know people in the biz that are
Thank you.
unbelievably
Which is-
technically proficient
Yeah.
that don't have a college degree.
Yes.
And I'm going, they could run that thing blindfolded backwards in the dark. And that's why I'm going, I wouldn't take that out for that reason. That's what I would maybe take the college degree out. But
Well,
At
Bachelor
least
of
now
it's
that they're both there though.
A Bachelor of Fine Arts in Theater, though, is going to be a very different person than someone who doesn't have a Bachelor of Arts in theater.
Possibly.
I mean, if you look at those programs across the country, they're
Yeah.
unbelievably proficient when they graduate with those degrees.
I'm anxious
you
to
look
see
at
the
it
poll
from
we
the
get,
standpoint of the degree, where I look at it from the standpoint that there are technical, the same that Doc is saying, that will, especially with the equipment, we've got a lot of kids that have jumped out there and really are learning the technical part of it that are not going to go to college. And I like the broadness of the posting, because I think that when you interview the people, we pick up and we see maybe what type of background they have, what type of experience they have. And hopefully we can get a jewel in here for the type of things that we are investing in that auditorium. But I don't ever want to lock us to a degree on something like that.
Sounds like we may have another summer program for next year too. Maybe another student that may be, right, I know where Dr. Geddes is thinking right now.
I have to admit though, this is the most
cool.
discussion on a job
I
description
know.
that we've ever had. And
It's good, it's
I'm
great.
going, it's the auditorium manager. I go, real, this is good though. I
Yep,
mean,
I agree.
we're paying attention.
Thank
Okay,
you.
It just shows you, we're reading our board packet, so.
Thank you.
Okay, with
right.
that,
First reading.
take it, yeah, the
Thank
first
you.
reading, we'll be able to pick it apart next time.
Okay.
If necessary.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Or not approve it. Which I don't think is gonna happen. Number 9, food service.
So that's going to be me.
Yeah.
And Steph, I know you have my back because y'all know I'm fading fast. Oh, and Brooks, I caught your joke. So, local, as we talked about it before, Local 399 has reached out to the food service team. And before you was a tentative agreement that we submitted on April 12th. It has been ratified by their team, and we ask for your approval.
Great. So we have the food service agreement in front of you. Do I have a motion to accept that?
Move to approve.
Okay. We have 3 of them, so that's great.
Take your pick.
Take your pick. Lakeisha. There, I got a look from her. Thank you. I got that look. I know, I'm right. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Mrs. Strider?
Yes.
Mr. Easley?
Yes.
Lakeisha look.
Jerry?
Yes.
Mrs. Howard?
Yes. Yes.
Elder Park?
Yes.
Dr. Ashton?
Yes, motion passes 6-0. Thank you for the work. Thank you for this food service. We certainly do appreciate them. Very much. Kitchen manager salary.
Right, so now that we've established the rate for the food service team, we need to now pay the kitchen managers. And remember, we promised that we would kind of standardize what we have, as it has not been in the past, to give them actual calendar days that are the expectation, and to meet the minimum wage requirements.
Okay, so I have before you a kitchen manager food,
Salary proposal.
salary proposal. May I have a motion to approve this?
So move.
I have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Mr. Easley?
Yes.
Mrs. Jerry?
Yes.
Elder Park?
Yes.
Mrs. Strider?
Yes.
Mrs. Howard?
Yes.
Dr. Ashton?
Yes, thank you for approving the kitchen manager's pay rates. Thank you very much. That brings us to number 10, ISB discipline report, first reading.
Good evening, board, folks, family. Dr. Jacoby, I'm the Assistant Superintendent for Secondary Ed, bringing before you for a first reading a plan that we are actually mandated to provide to the state of Illinois based on numbers. What I do want to give shout outs to our teachers and to our staff, our administrators. We have over the past, and I will be going into my 8th year here in the district. In the past 8 years that I have seen, we have really taken proactive approaches to discipline. We know punitive discipline doesn't work with a lot of our students. We know that we have to have different tools, have different conversations. However, the state does hold us to numbers. Before pre-pandemic, we had really reduced our expulsion rates by finding different alternative placements, by working creatively with students. Got applauded for that. Good job, District 118. Thing is, we still need to do work on our suspension numbers. That is what triggered the need to submit this plan. I think you need to know, and the board needs to know, if you look at who's the members of the ISB discipline plan team, our school improvement teams look at their discipline data by building all the time. OIE looked at lots of data about cell phones and loitering and things this year. But we did bring representatives from the school improvement team plans, teams, OIE, I have to use my notes to find out. Who else? Oh, DILT. All of our administrators bring their data and we talk about how we can improve and help our students. One of the pieces that we really know about this plan, There are things you're gonna see in school improvement plans. Every year, we have to submit data and a plan. Ms. Bailey has to for the state under special education. This is the same exact expectation. We believe eventually it's going to come together in one particular plan. But until that happens, we're following the rules. We will be submitting the plan. But one of the things we talked about primarily is you met Dr. Tan when he came here and discussed his work with the University of Illinois. We're really excited to partner with him to help our staff, administrators, teams really understand zones of regulation, self-regulation. How do we get our students to regulate in structured environments like schools when they haven't had that structure perhaps in a while and may struggle with it? So we've identified the plan itself has our state data. We added some high school data. We looked at our CRDC, which is our civil rights data, which we have to submit every year. Identified trends. And then the plan itself has, okay, what are we committed to doing? What do we feel we need to do? And that committee came together and said, we need to look at alternatives for suspension. The problem is, as you well know, we have great ideas. A lot of times we don't have the staff to carry it out. And that is what we will struggle with, but we're creative and we're looking at it. So this is a first reading. You have it in front of you. I will be happy to answer any questions on the 15th when I come back for the recommendation.
Thank you. Dr. Jacoby. Fascinating. One of our favorite topics. Informational items. It's you.
I don't think I have anything. I think I just, again, want to celebrate that 10% of our students have full rides to college. 27 have partial scholarships that range from 80% to 5%. And congratulations to the new 11/9 Dr. Alicia Gaddis scholarship winners.
Excellent. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. Is that want to be your superintendent comments also?
That's it.
Okay, we did right to left last time. We'll do left to right this time. Elder Park?
Everything has been said, really, if you want to know the truth. But I just want to say, as you say, take a personal privilege moment to say to the teachers, you all have done an outstanding job in spite of this pandemic. So I applaud you for the work that you all have done. And just to see these young people does my heart good to hear what they plan for their future. And we need to give them all the support that we can, even as they transition from high school and go on to college, because they're going to need our support. So again, I thank the work that Dr. Geddes and her staff has done this year, because I know that it wasn't easy, but I applaud you for the tireless evenings and that you have put into this, because I've been down that road and I know what it's like. But as we say in the church, to God be the glory for the great things He's done. So, thank you.
I certainly echo all of that, and kudos to you, Dr. Geddes, for the hard work that you've done in the last few weeks. It shows. It shows with the staff and with the kids. I want to say a shout out to the Future Problem Solvers. They met with us and told us about their vet memorial garden and going to the international competition. They dedicated the Veterans Memorial Garden at the American Legion on Monday. It was very heartwarming. Anybody that hasn't seen it, go by. It really is a job by young people that make me so proud that we have those kind of kids in our community. And to Lori Woods, who has inspired them. And to you, Mrs. Cherry, for all of your support. Garfield, staff, and principal, it was a good tribute last night. And even those of us that don't have particular ties to Garfield, what a heartfelt tribute to what Garfield has been. So thank you for that. Speaking of that, thank you to Mead Park, Northeast, and Liberty that all opened their doors to welcome the Garfield students. I heard a story today about the bus arrived at the school and all the kids in the school were cheering and they were so excited that the Garfield kids were coming. So I hope those kids feel welcome in their new home because the schools went out of their way to make them feel so. So thank you for all of that, you principals. And then lastly, on a little bit sadder note, I wanted to extend condolences to Mrs. Carey and to her daughter Amory on the loss of her husband. After David's retirement from the fire department in Danville, he served the district in a few different capacities, so he was very well known around our district and will be missed. So my condolences to you, Mrs. Carey.
Thank you.
I just wanted to say, I was at the high school symphonic in the orchestra concert. Mr. Womack, everybody did a great job. We were sort of crammed into that room. You didn't really think that many people would show up, and all the parents showed up. So it was just really a great concert. Very well done. We have some really great musicians. Also was there at the middle school concert 2 weeks ago now. Mr. Klepp, the middle schoolers. I mean, they went how many years without playing instruments? It sounded really, really good. They just are. Our kids are doing a great job. You got great teachers. I just wanted to say good job to all the kids. And DHS future problem solvers, you won't actually watch this probably until my prediction comes true. I think you will win the international competition for DHS for the first time ever. I'm just going to be a prophet. I'm just going to say I think you're going to win. Thank you for honoring our veterans, and that's all. Thank you.
I just want to say for Garfield, thank you. My daughter went to Garfield, and it was really fun to look at all the pictures and even to talk to Mr. Steinmack about his duck walk with the kids. Mr. Steinmack used to meet the kids at Voorhees, all the little kids who live at end, and they would walk back to the school, all of them just following behind him. And I reminded him last night that my mother-in-law didn't trust him, so she would drive the block over and look between the houses to make sure he did not lose any of his ducklings. And so, yeah, it was a great ride. They did an excellent job last night, beautiful. And to all the honorees tonight, congratulations.
I wanted to congratulate the new administrative appointees and your new principals. It's going to be awesome. You're well suited to where you're going. We believe in you. We are excited to see what you create. Dr. Geddes, thank you for your tireless work, and I know it was a joy for you to meet with all of the students at DHS. I know that you're planning, yet we didn't hear about KDBA because I know you're planning on going to KDBA, so that just hasn't been reported yet because you just haven't been there yet. But I hope you get some sleep. But thank you, because no matter what, those students are going to remember that their superintendent sat and looked them in the eyes and believed in them. So, 10 years from now, they won't forget that. That moment was worth it, and I'm so glad that you did every bit of that. Thank you for doing that. I wanted to just say to the principals who are here and spoke tonight, because lots of you did, you were so ebullient, like the bubbly. It was so energetic and passionate, and it was so enjoyable to hear what you had to say about your teachers, to hear what you said about your students, what you had that was getting ready to happen in your buildings. And it is, that's exactly the messaging that we need in this district. And I hope the community heard it, because that's who we are. So thank you for always bringing that, for always being that for each other. And I know you support each other in that, and also for our students and our families. And then just the last thing is, I want to shout out to Jana Drennan, who came out of her retirement and took over that global careers and professions class, I leaned over to Dr. Geddes and I'm like, we need to make this required for everyone. It was so amazing that those students were here, and she wasn't even able to make it, but you can tell how much her students loved her, and not just because she was just like wonderful and sweet, which she is, but also she brought out the best in them, and they appreciated and respected her for that. And I just thank you, Jenna, for coming back, and keep coming back. And we appreciate her, and we appreciate teachers like her. We've got a lot of them here, and we know that there are a lot of places that people can work. And we are grateful that you're here in District 118. That's it.
Thank you. That was very good. I will echo what you said. Sorry for your loss, Johnny. And that's very tough. Our honorees, the David F. Fields Award winners, absolutely incredible. I mean, absolutely incredible. Every year, I just stand back and go, we are blessed to have such wonderful people. And like I said, there's many more in our district. So thanks to them. Happy congratulations to graduates, because that's again, as I said at one of the meetings a little while ago, it's one of the few, with the board retirement dinner. There's a couple times during the year where it's fun to be on the board. And the graduation is one of those days. And it's kudos to you guys. It's kudos to everybody who's out here who's worked this year. Like Elder Park said, it took a lot of work, and it's very challenging. You got them through a pandemic. You got them through a year of maybe losing touch with some of these kids, and you did it. And so you have a bevy of a group, a gaggle, whatever you want to call it, of graduates that are coming out, and we're very proud of you for that, and very proud of them for the work that they've done. Garfield, sorry to see you go. That was awesome. I loved sitting on the wooden. I forgot how many programs I saw watching the Christmas program, the Thanksgiving program, from those really uncomfortable bleacher seats. But then you sit there going, oh, this is really cool. But then you go and you look at the cracks and you go, okay, I like the building, but I'm going, we kind of have to do what we have to do. But I was really amazed at how many people that from the community, that a couple of guys stopped me and they said, now, are they going to tear this down? And I said, no, we're going to repurpose the building. We're not tearing it down. We're going to repurpose it. And it was a couple of guys, and they said, oh, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. So it's not going. We're just going to use it for something else. So that's a good thing. And the music programs, the show choir, the choral program, if you did not see what they did, for the 4 plays and the musical program that they did last Thursday and Friday night, after I walked away, because I'm like an instrumental guy, and I'm going, I told my wife after we saw it, I said, I would have paid good money to listen to them, what they did. The students were great. The people who helped put it on, the organizers were great. And in the Fisher Theater, it's nice to eat popcorn as you're listening to the program. So hats off to them. And then the instrumental program last night at the high school with all the awards that went out, that was absolutely wonderful also. My final thing is you, Dr. Geddes. I'm going to agree with everybody. You did a great job. You have no idea. I would get these texts, and she's so giddy when she's like doing all. You can't believe what happened. It's like, slow down, just slow down. You know what she's like, but she's so excited about doing this that it is contagious. So it's great. It's great to see these students, and that's the last point was unbelievable. These kids got up and spoke the way they did. Did you catch that? That's right. Okay. We have a problem doing that sometimes, right? And these kids were amazing, and they articulated what they wanted to do, some of them without even notes. But, I mean, even with notes, they did a great job. So the future looks bright for our DHS grads, and it's really nice to celebrate that. So with that, I want to say congratulations to everybody, and our meeting is adjourned. I'll see you guys at graduation. Thank you very, very much.
Yeah.
So principals, do you want me to sit here and do salaries?